Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Machine Check, and today we have our first European car, a 2004 Volkswagen Golf R32. Well, Andrew, thanks for bringing this Golf R32 up here today. For those that don't know, can you explain what a Golf R32 is?
So this is really the original Golf R. It's got the larger VR6, which some Golfs came with, but then the Haldex all-wheel drive system, which was derived actually from some rally stuff that was done in the 80s. You get a completely different interior, different suspension.
So what originally drew you to this car? Why did you pick an R32 over a standard GTI?
My cousin had one of these when I was really young, and I rode it in. I was like, man, that's a cool car, but I didn't really know about them. And then I was looking for a car that's fun and drivable. Subarus are good, like the WRXs. To me, just looking around, I was like, this is the car that I want. It's 9/10 of what a lot of the Subarus are when it comes to performance, but it is an extra 50% when it comes to comfort and luxury. To me, it was just a great compromise of a car that I can beat on at the track, and I can load it in the back. Just a great all-around car.
Where did you buy this car originally then, if you didn't buy it in California?
Bought it out of St. Louis, so I had to drive from pretty far into the southeast, and it had 68,000 miles on it when I got it, and I've about doubled that now.
Oh wow, okay. How reliable has this car been?
A lot of people get concerned with German cars when it comes to maintenance. This car's been fantastic. Most of the problems that it has had, there were non-Volkswagen parts, and this thing's never stranded me on the side of the road.
My dad's friend had a VR6 GTI, Mark IV, and I think he had 187,000 miles on it, still the original clutch. He had always had GTIs, and that's kind of how I knew about these cars. Is he had a Corrado VR6. He kind of taught me a little bit about Volkswagen, so that's how I kind of understood what these were at the time. What are some kind of fun quirks about this car that maybe separate it from a standard Mark IV GTI?
The all-wheel drive takes away all of the torque steer issues that I've encountered. Point the car straight, you can have your hands completely off the wheel, dump the clutch, and row through the gears, and it will never pull one way or the other. It handles very well, and if you get things like the Haldex programmers for them, you can change the way that it's biased. It never feels like a front-wheel drive car, even though it's front-wheel drive based all-wheel drive system.
So what future plans do you have for it?
It's almost as perfect as I want it to be. Still always dream of putting a turbo on it. The way it is now, with the reliability it has, drove it across country, only put gas in it, nothing broke, and she just cruised and had no issues. So you can't really beat that in a car, right? Because everyone just wants to drive their car.
Predictions, how do you think this thing's going to do on Mount Udon today?
I think it's going to tackle it pretty well. These cars are known to handle well. There are some long bits. It doesn't really have the longest legs. Don't know if I can chase Steve down. That's a little off the table. But
I think that first section, you might encounter a decent amount of understeer.
These understeer a decent amount. The Haldex programmer will help with that some, but just from the track experience I have with these, with it being such a front-heavy car, the tires grease really quick, so I have to really manage that.
The last three corners are the most challenging because they're fast, tight, and uphill.
Okay.
So that's always, all the rear-wheel drive cars get loose. So the all-wheel drive is probably going to really help you through that. We'll see how it goes, but let's hit the canyon. Okay, folks, I'm going to let you in on a little bit of how I do these videos. I usually film 2 runs, and then we pick the best of those runs, and then that's what you guys end up seeing in the final product. So after we filmed the first run, kind of did a walk around of the car as I usually do, just see if anything is falling off or is, funky in some way. And on the right rear, we noticed a crack in one of the spokes of his wheels. So we've stopped after the 1 run. So the run you saw is the only run we filmed. Decided to stop, for safety. And you think we'll be able to get it home?
Yeah. I think we'll be just fine going home. It's a shame that that happened, but it's part of it. Yeah. Anyone who drives their car hard knows that stuff wears out, and got to be careful about fatigue and stuff like that. So yeah, glad we caught it. I mean, much better to still have all 4 wheels on than not. So. Yeah,
and more importantly, you're safe. Car's in one piece. Nothing bad happened. And if you've watched any of my DIY videos, you'll see that I always tell you how much to torque it to, and always double check everything. And it's very important that you always check tightness and just general, like you said, fatigue, and you always want to make sure everything's in good shape before you start running it hard. We all like driving our cars fast, but safety is more important than anything else. But otherwise, how did the car feel up there?
Car felt really good. Definitely with it being just with 1 run, saw some areas I can improve on. Need to change gears a little bit earlier, a little bit later in a couple spots, but felt good. Really fun course. I'm just out here to have fun, so it was a great time. Look forward to seeing where I stand with the times and stuff.
Once you replace that wheel, you're more than welcome to come back, and we'll do a couple runs, and that way we can get you on a time you feel better about. So yeah, you're always welcome back, and anybody else that's run, you're always welcome back as well. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, hit subscribe, come back for more machine checks. There's a bunch of American and Japanese cars that have already run. Like I said, this is the first European car we've had. There's a couple other European cars I'm working on, and we'll try and get them up here as soon as we can. Other than that, stay tuned for the next episode. And Andrew, thank you very much for bringing this car here. And
thank you for having me, Rob. Had a good time, even though it was cut short. So yeah, I'll definitely get it repaired and try and come back out.
Awesome. All right, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.